look in my heart and she gave me a pen. Hey guys, hello gorgeous. Part 2 of my John Cusack 80s movie duology review. Going to be talking about 1989's Say Anything. It just snuck in, coming out in 1989, still officially recognized as an 80s movie, although that classic 80s vibe that I love so much, I think was already gone, maybe by 87 or 88. Nevertheless, I had never seen Say Anything before. It was recommended to me by a friend, and I'm a huge John Cusack fan, and I'm sure a lot of people will say, heresy, how can you claim to be a huge John Cusack fan and you had never seen Say Anything? Well, I had seen High Fidelity and Grosse Point Blank multiple times and loved them, so I think you can still consider yourself a John Cusack fan even if you haven't seen any of his 80s movies. But Say Anything was fantastic. Directed by Cameron Crowe, who's famous for making movies that are real, movies that really evoke genuine feelings from you, memory lane movies. Movies that make you feel things that you haven't felt in decades. And that's what Say Anything really does. It seems like it's going to be a typical rom-com, but it has so much heart and soul to it. It is not a rom-com at all. It's not a comedy. It's just a real relationship movie. And it's not a drag. I should specify that. Sometimes when you say it's a relationship movie, that sounds exhausting. Oh my God, a relationship movie. But no, this is the excitement. This is the energy of a young, budding relationship. It's not just the infatuation, the physical aspect of it, the hormones that you get from so many movie relationships starting out. There's something really beautiful and genuine here between John Cusack's character and I think it's pronounced Eon Sky. The character's name is Diane Court. So basic premise of the movie is that Diane Court was class valedictorian. The class is graduating. John Cusack's character Lloyd Dobler is in her class as well. And she's going to be going overseas to do an apprenticeship. And Lloyd has wanted to ask her out for a while, so he calls her up and asks her out. And he's a very in-the-moment type of cat. He doesn't worry about what's going to happen in the long run when you move away. He's a very present guy, and his attitude is, I just want to date her as long as I can date her. And then he'll deal with changes as they come. Diane is a very prim and proper girl. Her father is also a very prim and proper guy, played by John Mahoney, who fans of Frasier will recognize. It's Frasier's dad. And while this movie looks like it's going to be just a regular relationship movie between a young guy and a young girl and them having to deal with life interfering in their relationship, it actually turns into something else, or something much bigger comes in to challenge their relationship. Diane Court's father, James, is investigated by the IRS, and instead of that just kind of being like a side little thing that I thought would be happening throughout the movie, it really does come and take center stage, and I think it makes the movie so much better. Cameron Crowe, a lot of the time, he's trying to make movies that are real and genuine, real life, but still entertaining, because it's still a movie you want to pop in. You don't want to watch it and be depressed about it. So you need a challenge that's realistic, but something that you can work through, or the characters can work through, and ultimately makes you feel satisfied. And that's what happens in this movie with the IRS investigation. I'm not going to give, don't worry if you haven't seen it, anything away here about the outcome, but I thought that it had such a great effect on the story. It presented the characters what they needed in order to develop and have a great arc. So I thought that was a brilliant bit of writing to have that kind of sneak in and end up being really what I remember most about that movie, shaping the course of events. Some of the best parts of this movie are just the little quiet, genuine moments that, unless you're a fantastic, brilliant director, and really tuned in to the scene and to your actors, you aren't going to pull it off. There's a lot of filmmakers who have tried to make these touching moments and they just fall flat. They seem forced and fake. But some of the scenes in this movie, like Lloyd and Diane's first night in the back of a car, they could come off really sleazy, but that scene in particular was so genuine and powerful. Other scenes, like Lloyd standing there, the picture is on the poster, holding the boombox over his head, stone-faced expression, doing what John Cusack does best, less is more. Again, powerful moments where nothing needs to be said, nothing needs to be done. Sometimes it's just the image that's required, and allow the audience to sit there and fill in the blanks themselves. That's what I've always felt draws me in and makes me a participant in the movie. Not spoon feeding me everything, but letting me think, oh, this is what he's up to. This is what's behind it. And it's the great actors that have the reserve to not go all out and be extremely animated. Instead, just hold back and let the performance speak for itself and let the audience think for themselves. Now, I mentioned I'm a huge John Cusack fan, and I really dig his style of less is more, but in this movie in particular, I have never seen anyone do so much by doing so little. He is fantastic in this movie in how reserved he plays it. Very laid back, not typical Hollywood leading man at all. He is the anti-leading man, and I just love him for it. I thought this was one of his most brilliant performances ever. I can't believe I had never seen this movie before, but I'm so glad I did, and I will definitely be watching it again. So that's my Say Anything review. Definitely a hidden gem if you haven't checked it out, and you're a huge John Cusack fan. Definitely take the time, track it down, check it out, and if you have seen it a long time ago, definitely try to find it and check it out again, because it does stand the test of time and deals with themes that are timeless. Question, comment, or memory about Say Anything, scroll down and go to town. And to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Nerdmas Day.